Yeah, yeah, that would be great. We would probably do it. I'm down to one. Should we? Let's talk a little bit. I think we could frame this little Bezos Branson segment as a Jen Psaki segment. Also, I don't know if you saw this clip of her characterizing it from the podium of the White House.
Oh, let's see it, man.
Okay, you're gonna like this.
This is a moment of American exceptionalism. That's how I see it. It will be the ingenuity of all of our commercial partners to help us continue advancing to the next stage of our nation's space exploration. And investments in space create jobs, can improve life here on Earth through climate monitoring and medical advancements, just to name a few. This is a moment
Jesus
of
Christ. Yeah, I mean, Bezos essentially doing something that was done 60 years ago by the Soviet Union is an example of American exceptionalism.
Yeah, going up there with Skittles this time and throwing it at a teenager.
And like, I don't know, I don't know what your exact feelings are on this, but like, I'm not down on space exploration and all this
No.
kind of stuff. The real problem with the Bezos and the Branson thing is that you have individuals right now operating at a similar level that states were doing 60 years ago. So like you're not breaking through, right? Like this is not like a new thing. It's not the first time we've gone into space. We've just underfunded and let these systems unfortunately rot in the United States. And this is not some kind of breaking moment or with anything other than the fact that private corporations can now do what governments were able to do a few years ago.
Right. And these guys are auditioning for like, the future. This is very important infrastructure for the future. Elon's on there too, right? Like and it's not Elysium fantasies. This is like military industrial infrastructure. I mean, it is true that space is important for climate stuff. I think we mentioned last week that, for instance, Amazon deforestation is monitored by satellite, and during the sorry, excuse me. And Bolsonaro completely wrapped up all of that sort of enforcement, and I don't really see like this isn't theoretical. That happened already, right? Like we these two guys aren't really. I guess I don't know what their position on Bolsonaro is particularly, but they're right. Like but if people, there probably is worth a Google actually. Now that I think about it.
No, I mean, but it's such a joke. And like, I know people, I noted this last week and who have been noting it again that, well, Branson bumped a climate scientist talking about the Amazon. And, the US media has spent more time talking about Bezos' space trip now that they did covering climate change in an entire year.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was so despicable when Bezos was going on about like how him going up into space, right, and his like personal exercise of resource waste, reminded him how important this planet was.
Did you see the Vic Berger edit to this?
Oh no, please share that with me. I haven't seen a good Vic Berger in a while, man. That's a throwback.
I know, man. It honestly it makes me feel so good.
I watch him on office hours, but I haven't seen a good Vic Berger edit in a while.
This is the instant classic. Honestly, here is the Bezos Bros.
Right in the middle of the most intense 5G section, they asked me how I was doing, and I was like, "I'm doing okay." So, it was pretty intense. I was like, "I'm doing okay."
So you're just looking out, and that was probably the most profound thing, was looking at the Earth's atmosphere and seeing how teensy it is. Did you know? Did you feel that? It's life-sustaining and teensy. You look at this thing and you see how small you are. You see that the world is big. You see the atmosphere is small and teensy. This world is full of not enough unifiers and too many vilifiers. And when you get up there, you see that we are one world. This is one planet. We should have a lot of unifiers.
That fucking unifier rant, man.
No, I mean, the thing that's such a shame is, look, I don't know. I doubt that it will ever be something I'll experience in my life. Escaping the Earth's atmosphere. But Jesus Christ, how much is it wasted on somebody like Bezos? So, and what I mean by that is this guy is coming back down. This has been a much publicized event, and he comes back down to earth, and he has nothing to spout off about this other than like the cliches. Like, I could do a better Bezos exit interview, right, about what I learned from going up into space than he did after actually genuinely experiencing that. And I really just think, I mean, that's not the biggest tragedy of all of this, but man, that is truly a waste to spend that kind of experience on somebody who's just not going to have the ability to appreciate or articulate it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was listening to the Eat the Rich podcast, and they were talking about Richard Branson, and I didn't know how he got his sort of start, but they made the funny point, which is very true, which is that if your grandfather has a Wikipedia page, you might be wealthy.
That's probably a good point.
But his dad was a lawyer for the entertainment industry that argued a famous case on behalf of the entertainment industry that said, we control talent regardless of if they do stuff here or in other countries, regardless of like whether the contract says or whatever, right? Like basically a discipline the talent sort of decision. So that's where this guy comes from. Like just a complete little like creep that like had rich parents and created a record store and like hit their lottery, and now he gets to like fly a plane off another plane to go slightly, like, honestly, like, it's cool how high, I guess, like, to probably, I imagine like floating in the air is cool. Floating in the water with a snorkel is cool too. Like, you can feel weightlessness. That's not entirely like, and also being up that high, like, I've been on planes. I remember my first experience on a plane, like in high school, thinking like, this is fucking very cool. I've got this. And we went to the fucking moon. Like, was it just NASA that was at Mars, like with a rover? Which, like, I don't know if we want to even go into the ethics of like contaminating Mars with shit like that, but that's cool. Part of me thinks that's really awesome. That wasn't Elon Musk doing that, right? Like,
yeah, and I mean, like, the fact is that the space that's opened up for these guys just goes from, like, I was talking to some people in the know who, NASA experience and stuff, don't share our politics. So I was just I was being a little careful, just trying to get information from them and their perspectives. And they made the point that, like, NASA has always used private organizations to produce and to, for its missions. But one of the big differences now is, I mean, it's complete top down corporate here, right? There is no kind of social goal or even value for what Bezos is doing right now.
yeah.
And that is a huge difference. And the privatization of NASA has lined a lot of folks' pockets. And this was a kind of internal battle within the government. But there were people who were lobbying for this within the United States, like federal government, who also were taking long positions for companies outside of the traditional ones to basically fill in the gaps of
That's what this is. This is about like trying out. This is tryouts for the near space oligarchs, basically.
And meanwhile, I'm sorry not to be too much of a tanky on here, but meanwhile, China is just opened up they just approved the first branch of the Chinese Communist Party in space at their space station, which name I cannot remember for the life of me right now. But there are other societies that are very much kicking our ass when it comes to their capabilities to explore the universe. And it's a shame, this next chapter, I think, that we're sort of sprinting into, because it doesn't seem like there's any political will for us to go into a space race with billionaires. I think that more and more what you're seeing from folks, as what we opened the section up with, was the Biden administration talking about how this is a great example of American exceptionalism.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I agree with that. That's just my sentiment. Then an IMer came in and said today that MR that he's sick of Democrats whining about Jeff Bezos going to space. And I'm like, they're not. They're applauding it. Adam
Yeah, who's
Schiff.
complaining
Adam
about him?
Schiff. Adam Schiff is saying, knock me
Bernie,
down with a
maybe,
feather.
if they're counting Bernie as a Democrat.
No,
but-
Adam Schiff, dude, had a tweet today saying we should raise taxes. I mean, like the most transparently, like his commitment to raising taxes is like I love to
Zero.
see it. Right, exactly, right. But there's something different going. I think they're really trying to push this, and I want to share this tweet too from just fucking ABC News because these major outlets, man, like they are absolute just. Talk about the CIA
let me see
shit.
what's on the New York Times.
This is ABC News. Look at that view, right? Like, this is embarrassing. Like, first of all, that's not attributed to anyone, right? That's just a sentiment they're attributing to this fucking 540p shitty ass webcam that they, I guess, at the last minute primed in to put on so they could have some sort of propaganda. Like, they're not even doing the propaganda right for this thing. It's Jeff Bezos throwing a Skittles at some 20-year-old, and then this shitty view that frankly doesn't look a whole lot different than what people have seen flying over the ocean if they've done that.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. I don't know. Maybe there's something that I've always, ever since a kid, obviously, being an astronaut would be fun. And as I've grown older, you think about the people who populate NASA, and there is something that is, and of course other countries do it, so this is not a unique American thing, but there is a kind of beautiful Americanness to the fact that a lot of these kind of country folk and Southern people especially, just go and they fly damn rockets out into the universe. It's cool as hell that these things are, being commanded from Texas and Florida. And, there is that kind of spirit there that I will say I'm very, sympathetic to it and moved by. And it's sad to see it sort of be overtaken by, all hat, no cattle cowboy like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, exactly. Did you hear what he said? We need to move all heavy industry to fucking...
Yeah, we'll move all of our cars into space.
Oh my God. Just spouting off on shit and honestly thinking it's genius. And it's
we've already done a segment on Jeff Bezos's movie or entertainment suggestions.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to be... I'm not going to have very much patience to hear about what he thinks we need to do about climate change.
Yeah, I mean, it's just but this ABC News shit really pisses me off. That sort of the way it's trying to cultivate this, because there is resistance to it, right? Elon Musk is some people don't understand that space represents hope, right? We talked about that. And
it sucks so much.
And it's he wouldn't need to say that if there weren't enough people saying this is fucking dumb, dude. This is what the hell are we? I mean, also I want to say you raise taxes, and also these motherfuckers don't get to decide space priorities anymore. And
that's it. I mean, that's exactly our space priority right now is space tourism. Right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, which is what the people are clamoring for.